Nick Moses 05 with Nick Moses 05 Gaming Podcast. I got my co-hosts, Zach and Joe. How are you gentlemen doing?
Doing awesome, Nick.
Wonderful. Glad to be here.
Nice. Glad to hear that. Now, I am with two gentlemen, and I played this game, all right? Game's called Moolander, and I believe the studios, and this is all new. I'm E3, first-time media, so you guys got to work with me, okay? The Sixth Hammer. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, you're correct.
Nice. So what I would like you two gentlemen, if you could introduce yourselves to our audience and let them know who you guys are.
Yeah, well, we're the two co-founders of the company. My name is Yasen. This is
Dimitar.
But we are not the only guys in the company. We are 6 people in the office here. Well, they're not here right now, but this is our office here in Plovdiv, Bulgaria, and we have some other people all around the world, like in Canada, USA, Colombia, Romania, all around the world.
Yeah, you can see all the stations of the other people right behind us, and they will be here in an hour or so to start streaming the game for E3. We're really excited, all of us here, to be a part of this event.
That view looks beautiful, by the way, if you don't mind me saying.
Thank you.
So Joe, I want you to take it away because I remember Joe, you had mentioned that you had some questions too as well. So Joe, I'll go ahead and let you take the first question because I know you guys' time is valuable. E3, you guys are going to be swamped, so I'm going to get these questions out. Joe, go ahead, take the floor.
Okay, question: what inspired you to do this type of project? But doing that with the UFO and the cow, what inspired you to do this? It's a very awesome idea. It reminds me kind of like a little bit of Earthworm Jim, a little bit with the cow, just like, over there. It's really cool, really unique.
That is a really good question. And the idea of Moolander came to us many years ago. We were back in high school then, and we just met with Yasin. And we really wanted to make a cool game for Android because there weren't many games back there for phones. And then we started building, I don't remember exactly how the idea with the cows came to be, but I remember that the first thing that pops in my mind is how we are both discussing it, and we are pretty excited to do something very epic, but with cows and milk.
Yeah, and we immediately started coding. This was our first game ever, and we started adding features, adding more stuff. And the game became too heavy and too complex for mobile devices at some point, and we decided to stop working on it for a bit. And a couple of years later, we decided to reboot the project, but we wanted to bring it with the full scope of the idea. And then this is why we decided to do it for PC and console, so we can have these awesome graphics, big storyline, and a lot of combat and puzzle elements.
Yeah, the first idea was like we are doing this very big game jam together and doing a game, but the second time we wanted to do it the right way. So we started by gathering the right team, and we got really lucky because we are also very good friends with the team here. We are doing regularly team building seminars and stuff like that, drinking beer, and we are all very passionate in developing Moolander. Yeah.
That's awesome. Looks like you guys have been keeping busy. I saw the project got started off in 2019. Is that correct? That's what Google said. I know sometimes Google's wrong.
Basically in 2019, the PC version of the game started. And this is the time where we started prototyping the game on Unity, and we started looking for people to join us. We first started looking for artists because we are programmers ourselves, and we were doing all of the art by ourselves by that time, but this is not the way you want the game to look. So yeah, we first started looking for artists in 2019, and then in 2020, we got a lot of people from a lot of different countries, like level designers from Canada, sound effects from USA, and yeah.
It's very unique art style. I love it. It's very, very retro, very modern. It's got that mix, like a 50-50. Like if you were making a drink, it'd be like a little bit of retro, a little bit of modern. It's very cool elements to it. Is there any kind of like Easter eggs in the game or anything that's hidden?
Well, in the final game, there will be some Easter eggs, and we are currently putting them in the game. But for the demo, we haven't put any. Yeah.
What about any hidden levels?
Yeah, there will be hidden levels, and there will be hidden cows that you need to search in order to fight with them. And with the cows, you get milk, and with the milk, you can purchase new skills and upgrades for the skills. And this is something you should definitely do in the game, because we have these big RPG elements in the game, and you have a lot of lethal, non-lethal, and defensive skills, and you can swap them runtime. So every battle and every enemy encounter that you have in the game, you should very carefully decide which skills and abilities you should use. Yeah, you can basically craft your playstyle.
And I want to add to that, there are not only levels, but entire areas that are not on the main path. So we have crafted this main path that you can follow to finish the game, but if you are brave enough and you go wander off that path, you can discover some pretty awesome things, but you need to prove that you have mastered the abilities that you have in order to get to there. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. One more question. I don't want to hog up all your time. Then I'll pass it on to Nick, or I'll pass it on to Zach to flip a coin. Is there any like skins for the saucer, for the craft? Like any skins?
We don't call them skins here. We call them ship camouflage modules, and you actually unlock them. Yeah, we wanted to do something
nice, right?
More original than just skins, but we wanted to do skins.
Okay, that's really cool.
So yeah, the way it works is when you are fighting with the enemies, you actually learn how they're doing what they're doing, and when you defeat enough of a certain enemy type, you can like do a research on them and unlock a new skin. But with the skin, you also unlock some unique passive ability that is tied to the enemy that you have defeated.
Yeah, and also the skin looks like the enemy that you have defeated. So, for example, if the game has like 15 enemies, you have these 15 skins for these enemies, and the skins are going to add a little bit of bonus to your ship based on what the enemy is doing. And also, we call them camouflage because you can basically look like the enemies that you're fighting.
Yeah, basically you have skinned the enemy and put it on the ship.
That's very cool. I'm gonna let I'll have Zach take the floor next, and we'll have Nick Moses 05 take the floor.
Absolutely. So I gotta say, I really like just the comments on the art. I really like the modern art style with the whole the parallax effect. I think it looks really, really cool. I just had to say that. But I just had a question. Would you be able to kind of just like briefly go over like the story, like the like the concept of the story?
Yeah, sure. Well, we will talk what we have already posted online to give you a grasp of the story. So there are these very ancient civilizations. There are two of them, and one is your kind, the Landers, and the other is the bad guys, the Anunnaki. And these two civilizations had a great war between them, and the war killed all the cows in their home planet, which was very misfortunate because they both fuel their entire kinds out of milk. So basically everything comes from milk. Vehicles, you consume it as food, and everything. And when you get no cows left, there is only one legend that is about a device that can produce infinite amounts of milk. And after this war, your kind has only one interstellar ship left, and it sends you with that ship. Actually, it sends one other guy, but it gets killed after a couple of seconds, so it sends you. Yeah.
So you're not the first choice. You're like the second.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But still pretty brave.
Okay.
So basically, this is the story before you start the game, and when you start the game, basically you start your journey for finding that device. But we have a lot of plot twists, and we don't want to reveal them. But definitely, it is not going to be the journey that you would expect.
You can expect your character to be very charismatic and very a little bit self-involved, actually, because he is very sure about what he wants to do. And for example, when you start the game, he pilots that ship, and you do this really awesome crash landing on the planet. And
Yeah,
then,
he stopped. He says, "Okay, you can stop the autopiloting systems. I can land that ship, and then you crash."
Yeah.
Awesome.
But that sequence is minutes long, so yeah, we will not spoil it for you.
That's awesome. And it's a Unity made game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Very awesome. I'm a Unity developer as well myself, so cool to see.
Oh, great.
Nick, if you want to go ahead.
Yeah. So, man, y'all, you know what? Y'all energy, man. I thought I was the one upbeat. I think you guys might got me beat. Okay, I gotta say, but I have a couple things. I played the demo and I did see the beginning with the landing, the cow farting all over the. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, the comedy hilarious. Okay, playing through the demo, navigating. I'm not a keyboard and mouse guy. It's difficult for me. Okay, using that WASD, trying to navigate, but I was making it. So I got leveled up. I said, yes, I'm ready to upgrade. No upgrades during the demo. I seen a whole lot. So what can you give some idea of what we can look forward to as far as upgrades?
Yeah, well, in the demo, you only have this one defensive ability, which is the shield, and the bullets and the milk sword, which is pretty cool that you can slash the enemies with the sword, with the milk sword. And you have this non-lethal attack, the shock bombs that you're dropping on the cows. And these are the things that you unlock during the demo. But in the game, as you can see in that screen, there are a lot of different non-lethal defensive abilities, and lethal attacks are a lot. All the lethal attacks are milk-based, so you have machine guns, milk lasers, you have these missiles that are auto-targeting the enemies. You have a lot of milk upgrades, and you can further upgrade every one of these skills. If you like it, you can upgrade it further so you can use it better.
You know, the Arsenal from Serious Sam, the game, we wanted to do bigger Arsenal. Yeah, for Moonlander.
Serious Sam is such a classic too, by the way. That was a great example. Now I'm gonna pass it on because, like I said, we can go along. Joe, you got a question? You can go ahead.
Oh yeah, I've got a bunch of stuff I've been writing down. So if you see me look at the paper, looking back up, looking down, I'm not going crazy yet. My first biggest question for you guys is: do you have those T-shirts for sale? Those things are awesome. I love them.
Not yet. Not yet. Actually, we get that question a lot, by the way.
Yeah, we only made like a dozen of these, and we want to make better ones for the players and for the community. Yeah, these are the original ones that we made a couple of years ago.
Yeah, we'll definitely do some merchandising and cool T-shirts. We even talked about Moonlander socks. So expect custom socks as well.
That's awesome. What would be cool is take the grass and make it glow in the dark if that's possible. Or get the beam from the UFO to glow in the dark.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. My next one is there going to be any paid DLC, or is this just a straight game and that's it?
Well, the game will ship without any in-game purchases. We are not big fans of in-game purchases, so we won't add any into the game.
That's how I am too.
We have planned already a DLC if the game is successful, and the DLC is already drawn out, and we have a lot of the mechanics and enemies prepared. So we plan to do like a definitive edition of the game with expanded previous areas and the whole new DLC and stuff like that. But it is pretty early to talk about that yet because we first want to do this. A good launch of the base game and to be bug free and stuff like that. Yeah,
that's very awesome. Question: is there like a super hard level, like after you beat, like for instance, like medium, like you get to unlock like an extra hardcore level? Well, like extra. I'm sorry, no extra hard setting. Let me rephrase that. Like after you beat the whole game, hard setting.
Yeah, well, right now not, but we're definitely thinking about that. Right now we have this easy, medium, and hard settings, and we are thinking about doing one extra hard difficulty, something like 1 life or something like that. But currently we haven't developed that, but definitely it is in the works for the full release.
And
okay, I have a list.
Also the things that are happening outside of the main path of the game will be much harder. So you will face a lot tougher cows there and more unique ones if you go wander off. and explore. Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
So if you start exploring the game and you start on hard difficulty, you can pretty much be sure that it is not going to be easy.
That's
For example,
very awesome.
I don't know if you have watched the trailer. The molten cow overworld in the trailer is one of the cows, and all of them are that different one from another. So there won't be two the same battles. For example, this one is very fiery. It burns everything it touches and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, like a Titan, very tough. One more question, and I'm going to have Zach take the floor. Physical copies.
Well, we have not talked about
Yeah.
that currently. I don't know. We haven't decided.
Well,
anything.
basically, right now the plans for the release is going to be fully digital. But if everything is successful enough and we have some partners about physical copies, we will definitely love to do that.
Okay. All right. Zach, you're up.
Awesome. So I had a question, I guess kind of again about the story. So is the progression of the game, is it totally linear, or is there going to be like any sort of exploration aspect? Is there any, would there be any reason to do any sort of exploration?
Well, at the current point, what we can say is that if you listen to the story, you can learn quite a lot about the game, and you will also uncover the motivation of your main character. And yeah, there is a lot of humor as well. Yeah. So the main story is between the two characters. One is the pilot of the ship, and the other is the ship AI Hamilton. And Hamilton is this very conservative guy that is always telling you that you need to be more careful, you need to do this like that. But you always say, I have a sixth sense about that. This one is not dangerous. Let's do it like that. And to get yourself in some pretty tough situations. Yeah, you see throughout the game.
Okay.
But it is a lone hero type of story. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And then I guess I had a question too. So the reason I asked that question, just for a little bit of pretext, is I'm the kind of player that likes, exploring like every little thing, finding Easter eggs, and just enjoying my time. And one of those experiences that are big for me alongside that is sound design. So do you guys have an original soundtrack?
Yeah, basically we met at the Plovdiv Music School here, and we graduated there. So we are doing a soundtrack ourselves. All the music in the demo is
done by us here.
Yeah, so the full soundtrack, I guess that it's going to be over an hour long.
Yeah,
even more.
It will be over an hour long orchestral epic music.
Yeah, so definitely, and we have a great guy from the USA for the sound effects. So all the sound effects are custom made as well. So definitely, you can expect a great atmosphere in terms of the sound.
Awesome. And then I guess one last thing: how long would do you think the experience would be? For an average player, from start to finish.
Currently, we have estimated the campaign to be around 7 hours long. But until we have the full game, we give it so there is enough play testing. We cannot be sure about that. This is our estimation based on the first one.
Yeah, our estimations are not the best ones because, for example, we go through the demo for like 10 or 15 minutes, and most of the people, it takes them like 30 minutes. So I don't know if we say, well, for the average player, the single player campaign is going to be 5 hours. Some people it may take them 10 hours. So we don't really know. But basically around 6-7 hours at least.
Yeah, plus we have this big multiplayer concept with a lot of modes. Both PvP and PvE, where you can team up against the AI cow overlords, or you can play as a cow and fight with your friends and team with a team of ships and a team of cows, and you fight together with 4 people. Yeah, actually, the multiplayer is a big part of the game for us because we really enjoy these local multiplayer games, and there are not a lot of them, where you can just sit with the controllers with your friends or family and just play and have some fun together. And we have these PvP and PvE modes there, so you can fight against one of each other. We even have plans for doing like football, where the cows are the goalkeepers and the landers are trying to get the ball into the
And also, yeah, we have a lot of ideas about different multiplayer modes, and you can expect more than 4 or 5 different multiplayer modes.
You can try the couch multiplayer even now in the demo.
Yeah.
You only need a couple of joysticks and you can play on one PC. You just gather your friends, buy a couple of beers, and start playing.
It's up to 4 players, so you can do epic 2 versus 2 battles on the demo.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll have to try that out. I didn't know there was a demo prior to this, so I'll definitely have to check out the demo. And, do you have any expected release date? I'm sorry, I haven't checked. I should know what that is. So,
yeah.
Spring 2022, it looks like.
Yeah, well, we in 2022 we want to release the game for Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, and PC. We are going to start working on the ports very soon. We already have a ported version for Xbox, and
we have all of the dev kits are already in our office. We have
the PlayStation and in the Nintendo are just around the corner.
Yeah. Awesome. Back over to you, Nick.
All right, man. Oh my goodness. So, a couple things. One, I noticed that you guys, if you mention your team, is in Bulgaria.
Yeah.
So the time difference. How is it handling that time difference with E3? Because I know you guys got to get sleep. You got to eat. Do you guys?
No. These are all optional for us. Yeah. If you have a good sleep and you can eat, okay, that's great. But if not, it's okay.
And we have a couch here in the office, so
nice.
We can take turns to get to some sleep.
Yeah, but around this E3 and the preparation around it, we are doing like 10 and 12 hour shifts to get ready, to get everything ready, like the demo, the trailer. So yeah, we don't sleep.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Something else I wanted to ask was I seen a lot of puns on Moo. Okay. All over multiplayer and Moo this. Can we expect the game to be filled with Moo puns is what I'm seeing.
Well, currently for the posts and the puns, we have given Nick green light to go crazy with the puns. Yeah, but for the end game, I'm still not sure what exactly will be left in the game. But for example, the multiplayer is awesome. We all like the multiplayer, so
and I want to also add one thing I didn't see, and I'm gonna ask, did you guys have any sort of, you mentioned playing with other people, any type of leaderboards, friends list? Is there any type of features that you guys have already coming or something that I may not have mentioned already?
That's a great question, and we have them almost fully developed, but there wasn't enough time for E3, sadly.
Yeah.
But for the next events during the summer, we will have all sorts of these social events like tournaments, map creation, designs for cows from the community and stuff like that. Yeah.
Now this is my last one before I pass it on to Joe. And he mentioned about the shirts too. I just got to add, those shirts are awesome. So if you do wind up doing merch, let me know. I'll put the word out. But I would like to ask, as far as what did you guys find to be the most difficult sound to do in the game? I know how Zach mentioned he's more into game development than I am, but I've heard of these weird things to get sound. People, taking 2 watermelons, hitting them together, and it's a zombie biting somebody, so it's just weird things. What was the weirdest thing that you guys came across for sound design?
Well, we didn't do the sound design ourselves.
Okay.
So I don't think that we can answer that question.
I can say in regards to the ideas that we have to give our sound text guy, a lot of times we have to vocally record how we imagine it and like do.
We're just
record it.
Yeah, we're just like opening the Facebook chat and on the phone. Okay, I want the sound to be like.
and he will get the idea and propose.
I love it.
And then back and forth. Yeah.
That is so, you know what? I'm so glad to hear this because for me, this is my first time at E3, okay? And I love to hear just the true, honest story. Yeah, because that's something I would totally do. It's just, it sounds, but last question before I pass it on to Joe. E3 2021. This is the first time Nick Moses 05 Gaming Podcast has attended E3 as media. So we're going to be doing it from now on, which is a good thing. Have either of you attended E3 in the past? And if so, how can you compare this digital event with all the website, all the communication issues that I've been, trying to reach out to people? How has this event compared to others, if you have been, or how do you feel about 2021 and navigating that portal?
Well, we haven't been to E3 last year because basically we didn't have the funds to do it.
Understand?
Well, yeah. Last year there wasn't.
Last year there was, but the year before, we really liked it and wanted to always go, but we never had a chance until now.
Well, basically, all the events that we have went were digital, so we don't have this comparison between the physical and the digital events because we have attended. We started attending these events after the coronavirus, and all the events that we have joined are fully digital.
One thing I can say is that the digital events actually give us a chance to attend, because if E3 weren't digital, we have no chance to go to America and San Francisco to do the
right.
Yeah, it would be way too expensive for us to do that. And actually, we are kind of happy that everything turned out this way, because this year we are going to attend like Gamescom, PAX, CGX, GDC, E3, and because these events are digital, they are less pricey and we can afford to go there. Otherwise, you have these hotels, plane tickets, crazy fees about events,
and you have to stop the development if the event is not digital, because you have to physically be there. Yeah. But now we can continue the development and do the streams in the nights, and
No, you guys made a lot of sense. I agree. If I'm in your shoes, please make E3 digital every year, because I agree. You save a lot, and especially with time development. I know if you're, you can't take all your equipment with you. You know what I mean? So it might be something that, it doesn't run the same, or it might be things you have to change. No, I totally get it, and I'm glad. And if you guys are here next year, hey, I'll be here right along. We could scream this again next year, but I'm done. I'm gonna pass it along to Joe. I'm sure.
Okay. Quick question. How many bosses are there in this game?
Well, currently we have over 20 cows, which are very different from one another.
And the cows are the bosses in the game, so there are lots of bosses.
Yeah.
Okay. About how many levels do you have?
We don't really have levels because we don't have any in-game loading screens. So this is one big map, big 2D map that you're
like playing. When you start playing, for example, Ori and the Blind Forest, which is a big inspiration for us. You know how you just start playing, you can just go around the world. So we don't have any chapters or levels in the game, but we have these 4 distinctive terrains. You start playing in the caves, then you go out of the caves, you start playing on the hills. Basically, you see these 2 terrains in the demo, and then you go to the forests, and then you're continuing playing in the forest, but during the night, and this feels like a completely different forest. So basically, we have these 4 terrains that you're going to experience.
Okay, sounds very cool. I have a question. I know some Switch games, you can actually do you can do like a LAN mode, or you can have that like if your friend has this on a Switch and your other friend has it, you can like do like a 2-player LAN mode together without being online, so like locally play.
Well, we still haven't figured all the details because we haven't focused on the ports yet. We are striving to finish the game first, and when we start doing the ports, we will evaluate each platform and see what is the maximum that we can achieve on that platform. Yeah.
Okay. Another question. For the PC, are you planning on implementing any like hidden cheats for I guess admin cheats?
We have cheats in the demo as well.
Go ahead and find them. They're just like in the GTA games. You just need to type the cheats, and we have cheats for everything. You can open doors, you can become immune, you can get milk, health, you can
everything,
stop the behavior of the cow.
That's awesome.
You print out a lot of stuff. But yeah, you can just try to decompile the code and find the cheats and
it won't be that easy because the cheats are not in English. They're in this Bulgarian, but typed with Latin letters. So
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Is there any funny words in Bulgaria that you use for the cheat codes? By any
Oh
chance?
yeah. A lot of funny words.
Okay, like what?
almost all of them like that.
Oh, that's really cool. That's awesome.
And local Bulgarian phones and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome that you implied the cheat codes. I really appreciate that in the games because I like to play the game legitimately. Then after I beat a game, I like to use cheats like in Grand Theft Auto, infinite ammo, infinite health, so on and so forth. I got one more question. I'm going to pass it on to Zach. Is there any timed levels in the games? Like you have to actually, like, for instance, okay, you got to beat the clock, or is it like, oh, just like kind of just go as you go?
Well, this will mostly be in the multiplayer because we have a lot of modes planned, and some of them could be time sensitive. So, but we will leave that to you to discover in the final game. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, Zach, you take the floor.
Awesome. I just wanted to go back to the when you were mentioning the multiplayer, like having like football, as an idea, for something you can do in multiplayer. I think the multiplayer is really awesome, and there's a lot of fun stuff you can do with that. So definitely excited to see those things.
Yeah, well,
and you mentioned.
Yeah, sorry, but yeah, for the multiplayer, we have this Discord channel, and all you guys and all the people in the community, you can just propose ideas for the multiplayer. You can propose ideas for modes, for maps, and definitely, if we decide we can implement them. We are pretty open for the multiplayer. We want to make it very fun, and we want to make the community invested in it, so we can get some ideas from you as well.
Yeah, most of the modes are still currently shaping up, so we're really listening to our community. So whenever we have a great idea, just shoot us a message in there. We will see it. Yeah.
Absolutely. I was going to wonder too, because you mentioned, having a level editor in the future. Would that expand into multiplayer, or is that kind of out of scope right now?
You mean for the DLC? Sorry.
I mean, you mentioned previously that there was having a level editor, so I was wondering having multiplayer if you're able to use.
Well, currently we don't have an easy level editor that the community can use. So basically,
you can draw us a paint sketch.
It's a paint sketch.
Yeah, and we can. This is the level editor.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Awesome. And you mentioned too that some of your influence was from Ori and the Blind Forest. I gotta say that's one of the first things that I kind of noticed. Is I thought, wow, this looks a lot like Ori, and I think the graphics, the graphic style, is definitely stands on its own. It's really cool to see that you drew inspiration from them, because I was going to ask about that, if you drew any inspiration from the Blind Forest or Will of the Wisp. Is that what it's called?
The Ori series have really profound influence on us, basically, from the beginning of the entire Moonlander saga here.
Yeah. The Rayman games as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was awesome, because I know Ori, Moon Studios, I believe it was, right? It's a Unity made game too, which is pretty cool.
I remember when I played the first Ori, it was the most beautiful 2D game I have played back then, and then they outdid themselves the second one. I was really like,
yep.
Whoa, yeah.
It's pretty crazy. And then I had another, just one other question too. Another thing that I'm into as well with certain games is speedrunning. Is there going to be anything to cater to the speedrunning category of audience?
Well,
or is it?
We as developers ourselves, we are 90% of the time we are speedrunning the game. So I guess that it will be fun for the speedrunners, because you have these dash abilities, you have these a lot of combat abilities, and you can definitely speedrun. And I have seen some crazy speedruns of games like Doom and all kinds of games where people are breaking basically the game and making it to load some of the next chapters. So it will be pretty interesting for me to see what a speedrunner would do with our game. So yeah, this is going to be pretty interesting for us.
Awesome. All right, Nick, if you want to go ahead and take it from here.
Oh yeah, I love the speed running because I'm one that, not a good speed runner, but I love watching them. And I remember watching Mario 64 the first time I seen a guy speed run, and he broke the hell out of that game. So I understand what you're talking about when you say these speed runs and they're breaking the game. It's amazing. Now, I want to know, I've been hearing tons of times of problems that happen during the development cycle. So which means, hey, I expected it to be ready within a year, and it took 5. What timeline did you guys have? Is what I like to know.
Well, the thing that you said, I think that you just said enough. I don't think that I have anything left to say. Like we thought that it is going to be a year, and it took 5. So, yeah.
You know what? And it's funny you said that because, and I got to thank Zach for that. He's been telling me like, oh, you can, we're going to crank that out in 6 months, or you can crank that. And then you're like, hey, well, I'm going to need someone else to help with this. Now we're a team of 10 and it was just me. So I understand the journey. And that's why I wanted to ask, but 5 years and now going into 2022, how do you feel about the release date in 2022? Do you feel solid, gonna hit it, or do you feel like you may add some things, it may delay it a bit?
Well, we are really trying to freeze the new things that we are adding to the game, because this is the main thing that makes developers prolong their game.
Yeah, you just say, you know what would be cool to add these abilities, and you add them and you break the game and you take 2 months to fix it, and then you say, it would be really cool to have that, and then you do that all over again. But we think that we have all the features right now. So right now we are focusing on just polishing the game because it's kind of ready. So we want to polish it and then do the ports. And if we want to keep adding some crazy stuff in the game, it is just going to be in 2022 post-release for DLCs. So no more crazy stuff adding to the game. So because we want to finish.
I would say this is the main thing. You need to just freeze the features, because everybody has an idea that he thinks that it will take only an hour or a day, but then it breaks like 20 different stuff.
And it takes a month, not an hour.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you guys seem like you vibe great. I know team is a big thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Out of you guys, who is the quirkiest? Who is the goofy one that's keeping everybody laughing, everybody upbeat? I'm sure you guys probably have one person in there that's just.
I think that we all are all the people in the team.
Exactly. I would say there are so many jokes in that. Like we are doing 15 minutes work, and then somebody cracks a joke, and we all laugh for 2 minutes and then continue working.
Yeah. There is not a single person. All of the team members are like that. So it's pretty fun to work here.
Yeah.
Nice. And same thing. I work with these two co-hosts, get to joke all the time. Get to play with. So I understand. That's why I asked that. You two seem like you vibe good. So I figured you guys have a good team environment. Yeah. So this is going to be my last question. I'm going to pass it back on to Joe. You mentioned about polishing the game. And I agree with that. Like you said, you don't want to keep adding things. And trust me, I'm not even a developer, but I can understand if you feel like you could fine tune something. I could understand breaking it and it takes another 2 months. Right now, with the current game and the polishing you guys got, if you had to give an estimate in 2022, roughly, not even going to hold you to it, what is the estimated goal that you guys are possibly aiming for? Is it, Q2, Q3? Or where are you aiming towards that 2022 year?
Definitely. We want to release it during the spring. So I don't know. I'm guessing around April, May, something like that.
We have left ourselves like 2-3 months for polishing, besides the ports. And I hope this will be enough based on what we have polished so far. For example, the demo took us like 2 weeks of constant full-time work of all of us in order to polish the demo. So 3 months should be enough for the game, keeping in mind that currently, while we polish the demo, we fix a lot of stuff that were going to be a problem in the final game as well. Not everything is tight only for the demo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, basically, our roadmap right now is to polish and finish the game up until the winter, to do the ports during the winter, and to release during the spring. So this is the goal right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. Joe, on to you. I'm shutting my mouth again.
All right. Thank you, Nick. In the Nick Moses 05 podcast that we do for Facebook and YouTube, we have a lot of modders and developers in there. They do a lot of different stuff with different systems. Do you have any advice for the young developers out there that want to get into gaming or maybe doing, getting their feet wet for the first time? Could you offer any advice to them?
Start with small projects. Because we started with this big project, and if you are alone, you are not going to make it.
I just want to add to that. When we started with Moonlander, we joked that one of us will get married before we release that game, and I actually got married last week.
Yeah. And we started developing it at school, at high school. So definitely start with small projects. If you're it doesn't matter if you're 2 or 3 or if you're alone. Start with something small, and you can every next project that you start, it can be bigger. You can implement something new that you want. But definitely, I wouldn't recommend to start doing this big blockbuster game with 2 people and no knowledge on how to manage that. I'm speaking from experience.
One other thing that I would advise anybody that is starting now is to get as much of feedback from players as possible, as early on as possible.
Yeah.
Because this really helps shape Moonlander to in the combat. For example, I now give the joystick to somebody and he says that the combat feels very fluid and the movement is very snappy. And I say to them, everything is like that because we have shown it to 1,000 more people, and each of them had a small advice that we listened to and implemented in order to get it to the current stage.
Yeah, what we did in the first year of the development, we implemented some stuff in the game for a couple of months. Then we went to an exhibition somewhere, showed the game before in front of gamers. So you have these small children playing, adults playing, and you see how they're reacting to the game, how they're playing, what is their feedback. Then go back, implement the feedback in the game. Then after 2 or 3 months, go to these exhibition events again. And we did that for a year, and it helped us to shape the game. Definitely you should get feedback from people, and don't be afraid that they are going to say something bad, or they are going to say, oh, okay, the combat is shitty, I don't like that, I don't like this, because you don't have to accept these things like something bad. This is something good, because after you get this into consideration and you implement the feedback, the game is going to be better. So as much as possible, get feedback.
And if you cannot attend big conferences, then you can do a play session with your friends or something like that. Just do it often and with different people, so you can gather different feedback for your game. Yeah.
That's very awesome. And for this project, did you do any outsourcing for any type of audio or visuals or graphics like that?
Well, I wouldn't say outsourcing. We try to gather everybody as a team, but we have people working from other countries. For example, we got really, really lucky with our artists. This was the most important first step that we needed to do, because we wanted this very distinct visual style. And basically not everybody is doing that kind of style. But we got lucky, and the people that we work with are really good at what we do, at what they do, and they need very little direction from us. They really got the view of Moonlander and how everything should look.
Okay. Out of this year for E3, what was the biggest problem that you guys encountered? I know at Nick Moses 05, we've been having some problems, messaging other members with E3 and, just trying to do a general chat. What was your biggest problem that you had so far with doing everything online?
The problem is that we didn't have the demo and the trailer and all these stuff on time. Because this was our biggest problem, because we had to work extra hours to get the demo right on the deadline. We had to work some extra hours to get the content, the articles, the screenshots, and everything for the booth. So this was our biggest problem. That if we had like extra 1 or 2 weeks, that would be great.
Yeah, it's very hard, you know. That's good that you guys keep on top of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got one more question, and I'm going to pass it on to Zach. Is there any can you create any custom levels and, like, for instance, like build your own level and maybe share them with a friend, or just play them you know, single player, any of that type of level customization?
Well, you currently cannot do that in the game, but what we plan to do is in the following months, we will create these tournaments. You can follow us on Discord to see, and map creation contests and stuff like that. And the winners will get their map into our game, so it will be for everybody to play. Yeah.
All right, cool.
So you wouldn't be able to do it by yourself, but definitely
You will have a chance to have
yeah,
an impact on the
you
game.
can just reach out to us and follow us on the social media and the Discord channel, and yeah, we can get your ideas into consideration and to implement them in the game.
That's very awesome that you guys are really in tune with it. I know with some game companies and some just, you know, regular homebrew developers, it's like, hey, once I make it, that's it. Don't contact me. Don't ask for updates or anything. It seems like you guys really put a lot of care, a lot of love into, you know, your project and, you know, your game. It's like, that's great because, you know, you have your work, your business, your project, your love, and it all goes together. You know, some people just, hey, what the hell with it? You know, let's release a broken game like Cyberpunk 2077, you know. Glad that you guys are taking your time and love and passion and putting it out there. So I'm going to have Zach take over.
Cool. So I just wanted to say, first off, congratulations on being married. That's awesome.
Thanks.
And then, and like you guys were saying too, for, you know, people who are looking to get into the industry, for small developers, when you said scope small, like make something small, like make something small, you know, at first. Like a lot of people have the idea like, oh, I'm just going to create this, you know, this little platformer, you know, got this little inventory system. Like, no, create like Pong or something, you know.
See, you can start, of course, with whatever you like, but if you have something wacky and some weird idea, it is great to start exploring those ideas while you're small, because it doesn't cost anything to do it. Basically, when you're not a big company, you don't have the overhead of paying all that salaries to a lot of people, and you can allow your imagination to go wild, basically.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
I see online in the groups a lot of people that are saying, okay, I want to gather a team to create like an online RPG game. I want to do a first-person shooter like Counter-Strike, or I want to do something like Diablo. And you are not going to do that with 10 people team, and if you're not going to pay them like very, very good salaries, like you need big teams for it.
Yeah, a lot of money.
And yeah, definitely. So this is why I was saying start small, and you need to just take everything into consideration, because you have this level design, programming, testing, music, sound effects. There are a lot of stuff around this around the development, and if you want to do this all by yourself, and you don't want the project to take 15 years to finish, you should scope the project a little bit down.
One other thing I would say is
to
choose your art style, because this is very important. We actually chose the most difficult art style for 2D development to do. For example, low poly art style is a lot indie friendlier for small teams to start with. Yeah. So yeah, this is a
absolutely. And I basically only had probably one question left for the interview. I know we're coming up close to being here for an hour. I guess one question I just had: what's been the funnest or the most the funniest unintended repercussion of a design aspect? So like implementing a feature. Like what was the funnest thing that you guys found that just completely went wrong or unintended in any way?
There were so many. I cannot think of a single one. Maybe we need to put together a compilation of all the weird things that people saw in Moonlander. Yeah. Basically, every day somebody in the office comes to me and says, well, "Look what that cow is doing," or what that enemy has done.
Well, the thing that comes to my mind right now is when we were working on the cows on the demo, we had this book with the cows where when you replay the level, the cow behavior gets executed more and more times, and the cow gets this amazing speed hack. Uh, and basically, it was like the Flash. It was super fast and it was moving all around the screen like in an instant, and it was super fun. And we were like, okay, why don't we put that cow on hard, because it's super fun. It's like extra challenging. You can still the
Yeah.
cow, but it's super hard because it's like moving all around the screen. So yeah.
One other book that came
That's
to
hilarious.
mind is in the old Moorlander project that we did only the two of us, the mobile Moorlander. We had that weird book that if you have more than one cow on the level and you start sucking one, all of them get sucked. And somehow we implemented the same book in that Moorlander. Yeah, because a couple of years later, when we tried it with two cows, they again sucked both of the cows.
Yeah, the interesting thing is that way back then, this was a Java project. We were working on Java for Android, and right now this is C# with Unity for PC, and we had the same book. So yeah, it was really fun.
That's funny. That's awesome. All right, yeah, you want to go back over to Nick?
All right. And I'll go and wrap it up because I know you guys got a lot to do today. You're going to be swamped with stuff to do. So I'm just going to end it on this. To my audience, everyone listening, what would you like to say to them to get them excited about Moorlander, and what would you like for them to do?
Well, they can get excited for the game if they watch the trailer and try the demo. So definitely, if you guys like cows, you like 2D games, you like cool combat with RPG elements, you should definitely try the game. The demo is free on Steam. It features like 20-30 minutes single player campaign that showcases most of the stuff in the game. Like it just scratches the surface of the game, but you can get a sense of it. And you have this cool multiplayer. So also, if you're a fan of the local multiplayer and you just want to play with your girlfriend or your friends at home, definitely give it a try. It is on Steam, and you can expect as I said, Xbox, PC, Nintendo Switch, and PlayStation release next year.
Killed it. Oh man, nice. Well, gentlemen, I thank you. Six Hammer is in the house on Nick Mulder's 05 Gaming Podcast. I appreciate the time, you guys. If there's anything you ever need as far as from me, just let me know. I will be in touch with you guys. But I definitely appreciate the time. And Zach and Joe, is there any last words you got to say before we go?
Yeah, I have one. After building the game and porting it over to the different systems, what was the hardest system to port it over to, and why is that? I know some systems are easier.
We only ported it for Xbox One. We haven't tried it on Nintendo yet, but I can say with absolute assurance that the Nintendo port will be the hardest.
Yeah, the hardware is the least capable there, and we'll have to do some pretty solid optimizations in order to
get to that target FPS, basically.
Yeah. But you can ask us this question again on our next interview, I guess.
I just wanted to say, awesome. Keep up the great work, guys. It's really cool to see, the amount of passion in the project, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing it. I'm going to add it to my Steam wish list, and definitely pick it up when it releases. So, awesome job, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having us. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. So this is Nick Mulder's 05 Gaming Podcast, and I'm going to stop the recording. Appreciate you guys.